The upper hull, the upper half of the hull, when inverted, reveals a push rod leading to the sailplanes here. The after end of the push rod terminates in a magnetic coupler here, what we call clicons, which when that makes up with the rest of the linkage, and the linkage pushes at fore and aft, you see you get the displacement of the sailplanes, or fairwater planes, whatever you want to call them. That makes up, of course, when we attach the upper hull to the lower hull. Alright, we're ready to make up the subdriver. Notice I have two rubber bands at the ready here, and a Dumas connector. This is a Dumas dog bone, which is the interface between the subdriver and the drivetrain. So I take that Dumas coupler here, and I push it into the other coupler in the bearing bulkhead, and then quite simply set the subdriver down onto its foundations. You notice these cast resin foundations here. They're part of our fittings kit. I want to take this off just a moment to show a pin that has been set into the hull. It fits into a corresponding hole in the ballast tank. That's an indexing pin which keeps the subdriver indexed with the lower hull. It can't rotate and it can't move longitudinally. To hold the subdriver in place, we simply make up some rubber bands, like so. Now there's a foundation on top of the subdriver which makes up to a machine screw that holds the upper deck down. Yes, we've got these magnets in the lower hull and the upper hull which hold things together, but I don't trust them. Incidentally, there's a little device back here. It's a, I'm going to close up so you can see what I'm talking about. It backs up the magnetic couplers. Now we use these magnetic couplers because there's zero backlash to them. They're very tight, gives you good registration, but they're not terribly strong. So in the case of the yaw axis, or rudder if you will, I made this little strap, little wire strap, which hooks onto the back side of that coupler holding them together. Alright? So let's back off here. With the subdriver in place, we've already checked it out with the transmitter, but now we've integrated it with the lower hull. We're going to turn things on and check operation of the pump jet gimbal. Of course, starting protocol was turning on the transmitter. It is on. Then we turn on the subdriver, and then we start wiggling things. Throttle. Now we're pitching. You can see that here. Now we're turning, yawing. All right. And we're going to check operation of the low pressure blower again. The gas system here. And the vent. Good. We're looking at the vent. Now, you probably didn't see much there, so we're going to go ahead and close up on the stern because that's where all the action is. Here we are. Throttle again. Ahead, astern, and I'm going to keep it running ahead a little bit. We're going to yaw, right, left, then we're going to pitch up, pitch down, and do them both at the same time, demonstrating how the gimbal works. Alright, good. The bow planes, of course, are connected to this magnetic coupler when the upper hull goes on. We've checked everything out and we're ready to install the upper hull. As I mentioned before, we have a single fastener right here. It's a little 256 machine screw held in place with a little O-ring right there. So when I put the upper hull down, I'm looking through the open bridge here, and I'm looking for this little snorkel induction when I do it. Yeah. Now listen, it's going to snap down when the magnets take hold. Boom. Can't miss. Everything is in registration. Then all I have to do when I'm ready, to actually operate, I'm going to make this screw up. But while I do tests and I show things off like this, we can just let the magnets hold things together. So the magnetic linkage is made up to the fairwater planes, and you can see their operation when I move this stick. A little bit of trim here. Good. These work very well at maintaining precision depth control. Boat angle is handled by the pitch axis of the pump jet. Here I am moving it like a rudder. Here I am moving it like stern planes. Alright? And then again the ballast system. And you'll have to listen for it, the low pressure blower. Alright, that completes your pre-mission checks. At this point, you take the model apart, you turn it off, you gather your tools and consumables, transmitter, you put them all in the car, and you head to the site. Of course, you got to turn things off. Turn off protocol is subdriver first, then the transmitter. Then you put things back together and load up the car. You're ready for a day's play.